Hi, everybody. Thank you for joining us. We're glad you could be here today. Today's webinar is specifically targeted towards the Environmental Technical Advisory Team members in how to use the new EST to do the ETAT review. And I'm Ruth Roaza. I'm the Environmental Process Analyst with the Office of Environmental Management, and I'm the task leader for the Environmental Screening Tool. Pete McGilvery is not with us right now, but he is hoping to stop in to say hi later on. He is our administrator over the ETDM process. He's also the contract manager for our agency operating agreement, so I'm sure many of you know him. And then from our EST support team, we have Mike Konikoff here today. He's the digital solutions senior developer and project manager. And so he leads the development of the environmental screening tool. And Stephanie Clemens, many of you know her. She heads up our help desk here at OEM, and she knows everything about the EST. So she's joining us today to help answer questions. And Katie Marley is not physically with us today, but you will be hearing her voice a lot. Many of the demos we have recorded just because it helps ease with this virtual reality meetings that we have, and we don't have to worry so much about connections, losing connections. And so she has gone through and created videos for us for our demonstrations. She does our help documentation, she does our testing, and so she's not physically with us, but you will be hearing her voice a lot today. And I wanted to acknowledge her. Some of the basic things with the webinar logistics. We are recording this, and when it's finished, we'll review it and make some edits if we need to, probably break it up into sections and get it posted out on our website. And then I'll send links to anybody who registered. So if you have people in your agencies who registered but weren't able to make it today, they should be able to get to the recording and get the links to the recordings. You are on mute right now. If you have any questions throughout, go ahead and type them in the question box. Stephanie's monitoring that, and if it's real specific to one person, she'll go ahead and answer it right away. Otherwise, we'll save them for our question and answer sessions throughout the webinar. I do have two handouts up there for you already. The first one is a quick guide, just showing an overview of the new site. And then the second one is a PDF of this presentation. As I mentioned, we will be watching videos for our demonstrations, and there are some tips when you're doing that in a go-to webinar session. The first one is it's going to pop up most likely in a separate window. It really depends on how your specific go-to is set up. But if it does, it may be hidden behind another window. So just look down in your taskbar and make sure that there's not a window that says go-to viewer that has opened up behind something else. And then another comment we often get is, can you make it louder? And no, we cannot make it louder, but you can. The audio for the videos is actually controlled by your computer. So you hear it at the loudness, is that a word? At the volume that makes sense to you. In general, our topics today, I'm going to give a brief introduction to the site, and then Mike is going to lead us through the demos. We've got 3 demos. Total, we've got about 30 minutes of demos. So our content today is probably about an hour, but we have plenty of time in between the demos. If you have questions or you want to see something like it just didn't make sense in the demo, you want to see something, Mike or Stephanie can pull it up and show it to you between the demos. We have plenty of time. We scheduled this to be so long just in case you had questions, because we know this is a new site and it's a new environment, and we wanted to make sure we had plenty of time to answer your questions. There's 3 main sections. The first lesson is just basic navigation of the site, and your projects needing review is what it was called on the old site, is now called action items, because there are things that you do that aren't project related, like your document reviews, some of you do. So we just called it action items, but that is the main tool to use to get to things. And so our first lesson is general navigation and then how to use that report. And then the second lesson, we go into individual reports for understanding the project, understanding the resource data that we have available on the EST. And then the third lesson is about using the comment forms and viewing reports about those comments. We will not be going over the map viewer today. You've been using that for over a year now, and we have separate training for that. We're happy to give that training again, and if somebody does have specific questions, if at the end, we may have time to show it if you have specific questions, but we also can give help and training with that at any time. And then after our demos, we are going to be talking about what's next, like how you'll be getting the link and know where the site is and what's coming your way. This conversion to the new site has been done in phases. We got the invoicing module for those agencies who are funded and invoice us for their work. We got that done first, and then we did the map viewer, and now it's the ETAT review tools, and next will be document review tools, and then we'll move on to getting the district and MPO project data entry and ETDM coordination tools up and going. So that's the general plan. Before we get started on the demonstrations, I just wanted to give you a little information about the guiding principles behind our new design and some of the key features that you can be on a lookout for during the demonstrations. The first thing is that it's built on new technology. Many of you have been working with us for many years and know that our old EST is like 15 years old and it is not working on the modern browsers, but our new site will. It is built so that it works with the modern technology of Chrome, Edge, Firefox. Microsoft, as you probably know, is phasing out the Internet Explorer, and so are we. We do not recommend using Internet Explorer for this new EST because the Internet Explorer just doesn't take advantage of some of the modern features that we've been able to incorporate. Second, we're trying to make it easier for you to find things and to use, of course. So we've taken a lot of feedback over the years on how to make it easier to find things. And one thing, we have greatly reduced our left menu. So it's no longer got hundreds of different items that you have to search for. We put the reviewer action items report that used to be the projects needing review up in front right there at the top item in the left menu, and also there's an icon up at the left where you can get to it as well, and Katie's going to show you that in the demos. Just like before, you go to the ETDM number and you can get to your actions, and one of the actions we have is starting or resuming your ETAT review, which now instead of opening up all those tabs will take you to a task list. And how we came up with this task list, that you can do in order or you can hop around as you need to different things. But how we came up with this was based on that flow chart in the ETDM diagram that shows the ETAT review tasks. Now, some of those tasks are things that you do in your head or do offline. They're not things that the EST supports, but many of them are the things that you have tools in the EST to, you either need information or you need to provide information. And so we've linked it back to that. So those tasks, we're using this, trying to use the same language and providing that mental linkage between our guidance and the tool itself. So you'll see as Katie walks through it that each of these tasks, like understand your project data, assess resource data, provide your comments, and then view reports. It's hopefully in a logical order that you can follow and you can find things. And on that same principle of trying to make it easy to find things, instead of having a complex menu system, we've put links to reports and information where you are most likely to need them. For example, our project description, our purpose and need, information about the projects is all combined on one page that we call the project detail page. And as you scroll down through that, you will find links to more details of information. For example, the GIS reports, report of technical studies, things like that. Anywhere that there's, and the summary reports, they're all there. Any time that you're trying to find more information about the project, start on the project page, the detail page, and see if you can find it there. It should be there. So with that, I am going to turn it over to Mike to go through the demos.